Welcome to another riveting episode of the Pantry Party Show. And you know the drill, man. Here's what we do, is we make meals out of whatever we can find in our guest's pantry. So 3 parts, right? Meet a guest, usually amazing guests, right? Then we say, hey, is anything rotting in your kitchen or something you want to use? And then we actually go into their pantry and make a meal together. Well, not make it, but you know what I mean. Like come up with a creative idea for them to make. All right, so our guest today is Molly. And she is a TV producer and food eater, as I saw on her Instagram bio. Hello, Molly C. Shanks. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So, you know, I've been promoting. I said, oh, who is our guest today? And I was like, well, I steal it right from your bio. It's like, she is a world-renowned TV producer and a food eater.
And a world-renowned food eater, yes.
I love it. Well, welcome to the Pantry Party Show.
Thank you.
It's a very simple situation. It's meet a guest, find out what they want to use in their kitchen, and then brainstorm, Mealstorm a meal idea. How do you like that? I mean, you're a TV producer, so how do you feel about that as the flow of a show?
I love it. I think it's great. It's a good idea because I do think a lot of people, especially me, like I'm a recipe girl. So this has been some uncharted territory for me as I'm like, okay, I have some staples, but I do not have a recipe to go off of. And that is kind of scary. So
I love it. You know, I love it. And I definitely, like, a lot of times I will look at what I have and then I do Google images. So I'll like say can of sardines or whatever. And then I'll look at pictures of sardines and about 90% of them kind of make me gag. I'm like, oh, gross. But then there's some very cute pictures. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's an inspiration. So I'm very visually inspired by things. Okay. Anyway, good. Molly C. Shanks, will you tell all the viewers about all that is your glory and magic on this world?
I will, yes. I'm trying to see if I can set this. Maybe I'll do this. Oh, that's better. Yes, so I am a TV producer and I work for a company called Intersport, which obviously we do a lot of sports content, but thankfully we also do culinary content, which is where I fit in. So we do a lot of stuff for the James Beard Foundation, work with a lot of chefs, both locally and across the country, and get to do a ton of fun projects. So we'll be in their kitchens, we do a variety of things, whether it's partnering with brands and helping them do series. We just did something with Capital One and American Airlines. Or we produce all of the content surrounding the James Beard Awards. So obviously right now the restaurant industry is struggling. So we're just trying to think of ways that we can maybe help out. And, you know, for any restaurants or people who are trying to figure out how they can help, I will say that the Beard Foundation has been a great resource for that on Instagram and on their website. So definitely check that out. And, love cooking, but as much as you can order right now from local restaurants. I know that that's been a huge help. And some of them are even, you know, creating these packages that you can take home and use their ingredients and make things yourself. So a little bit of a hybrid situation there, which is nice. But yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. And then I feel like the fun thing that everybody likes to talk about too is I did used to work on Dancing with the Stars.
I know. If you weren't going to say it, I was going to say it. I'm like, you know what? Because I met you in the days that you were working on Chicago's Best. That's when I met you.
Yes.
And then you moved and started doing Dancing with the Stars, which, by the way,
not doing the dancing.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, exactly, producing it. But you know, we all know you could have shined and won that show. Right. And the reason why I feel like that's so important is because my mother absolutely was dying. She was like, I can't believe you know a producer of Dancing with the Stars. She loves that show, right? Anyway. Then when you came back to Chicago and you were saying that you work with all of this like James Beard content, I'm like, girl, it's amazing. Now, I mean, when you pick jobs, do you do it based on like you love to do specific types of content, or is it like, how do you pick what you want to do? Or it picks you?
Yeah, kind of. I feel like, I think the main thing is I just like telling stories, and there's a variety of ways you can do that. So like now I'm definitely more focused on culinary, but I did do some sports stuff when I first started with our company, and obviously, Dancing with the Stars, or I worked on a show called Axemen where we were doing stuff with loggers. But I think all of that, like what it has in common is telling stories and helping get people's stories out there. And I just, it's an interesting way to kind of get to experience the world is through these, meeting all of these different people and hearing how they got to where they are, including you.
Well, I
Hello.
put that on my post. I was like, and
Yeah.
she's a TV producer, and she discovered me. I feel like
Oh,
that's
no,
definitely,
we were just
yes.
able to scoop you up.
It
But
was
yeah.
a true discovery. You were like, you were a smash hit on that reality show. Let's have you in Chicago host the show. So I mean that was really very cool. But you know what? I love the idea of you saying like what you do for a living is like, yes, a TV producer, but really where the heartbeat of that is you like to tell stories, and you do that through TV like a visual medium.
Yes. Yeah,
Very
definitely.
interesting.
So,
Very interesting. And it is like one of those careers that when people hear TV producer, it's like, oh my God. Like, oh, like people
it's
freak
like a
out.
fake job. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
It's
David
fun.
Ross was on Dancing with the Stars
Oh,
that
that's my
season.
mom.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Mama.
mom.
Yes, I know about David Ross because David, that's how we ended up. That's how I knew you were working on that show. Is Dave somehow you and David were talking because I was the dietitian at the Cubs at the
Yes,
time, and then we had like a three-way love triangle.
I know. Yeah, we start that rumor now. Sarah
Yeah,
David
why not?
Ross.
Why not? Why not?
Lovely
Oh
guy,
my
happily
gosh.
married.
That's yeah, exactly. Oh, so anyway, very, very cool. Why on your bio do you put food eater? Like, are you a real foodie?
Oh my God, yes. I love food. I love eating food. I
I
like
don't
all
know that I
types
knew
of
you
food.
were such a foodie. Like going to restaurants, like when you pick a restaurant, you like investigate the menu and like look at all that, or like what makes
Oh
you such a
yeah.
foodie?
I think it's just being able to be around people who are experts at what they do. So like when you get to see someone and they make everything look so easy, and it's like anytime somebody makes something look easy, it's probably really hard and they're just really good at what they do. Um, so, being around that and seeing all the different ingredients that people can use and, just how they come up with pairing certain ingredients, or I think all of that is so cool. And I used to be such a picky eater, and then honestly, like out of politeness, started eating more because I was too scared to say like, oh no thanks, or hey, could I do that without the olives? So yeah, just being able to like, you have some of these amazing chefs making food and trying things, and like we'll film it, and then of course we all get to like pick at it after we're done filming it, which is great. So even then it's amazing food. It's like lukewarm by that time, and we've all touched it and tried to make it look beautiful, but like it's just, I've been able to try some really fun things. And like even with Chicago's Best, we had such weird things, like we were able to try alligator ribs and just like some really strange things that I would never order on my own. But, when you're in the situation, it's like, well, why not? When else am I going to do this?
I love that. And I think that's a good message to whether it's a kid or an adult of picky eaters, is like, you
Yep.
could think you're a picky eater, but if you push it and try more things, that you have really, your pickiness has vanished, that
Yes.
you're adventurous and you're willing to try new things. Now, not everything that you try is your favorite, but it's
Right.
like the fact that you've become so playful and open-minded with food, I think is just like so exciting. I was wondering though, do you think being around all of these like award-winning chefs and James Beard, level actually works against you in the kitchen, because you see them do such intricate things that it's like, I could never do that, so forget it?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I do think the one thing that like I really wish I was better at, which hopefully you can help me with, is at being able to just kind of take what I have on hand and pair it together. That's something that like I'm really good at following a recipe, and I love trying new things in that sense. But if you were like, oh great, like I have tahini right now that I bought specifically for a recipe, And I have no idea what to use it for, because unless I'm like measuring it out and following something that I'm like, oh, okay, this person tried it and they're a good chef, so I know this is going to be good. Like, I do not have the confidence in the kitchen to just like throw things together. Like, I will never be the person that can have a dinner party and like cook while people are over.
Oh, could you imagine?
Handle
I don't know
pressure.
about that either. I don't know. Those are truly like, you know, even though I taught cooking classes for 7 years, like I taught cooking class, I don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
I like to eat good for me food that tastes good and feel like satisfying and like, you know, good. But it's like the process of it, when some people like lean in and like love it, it's like it's amazing. But I do feel like
no.
Yeah, I do feel like also crutching around on, you know, I guess not everybody is a learner, you know, the same way, right? But I do think there is something to, like, say you have that tahini in your house and you're like, okay, I bought it for this particular recipe. How do I use the rest of it? I love doing tahini recipes and Google image search.
Okay.
Not just like recipes, because, you know, like sometimes words don't do it for me.
Right.
But like when I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's roasted cauliflower, raisins, pasta, and tahini. It's like, I wouldn't have thought to necessarily put that together. It sounds delicious. And I've seen something like that on the menu. You know, I have seen like Mediterranean, like cauliflower tahini pasta. So I'm like, okay, that's how I'm going to try it. Now, you know, if you're practicing and there's no recipe, it's like, nah, is 100% of it going to turn out perfect? No.
Right.
You know? So I think that's probably part of it, is like being okay to have a crutch of something like a Google image to like spur your creativity and playfulness. And then know, you know, it's probably a 70-30 gamble. 70% of the time it's going to be good. And 30% of the time you're going to be like, not so good. Not so good.
Okay. We have nothing but time right now.
Exactly. Well, so going into your pantry, is there something like that is either going bad or that you've had and you don't know what to do with, that we should brainstorm Mealstorm together?
Sure. So I feel like, here we go. I feel like my pantry itself, like I do not have I didn't stock up on like a ton of beans and things like that, which maybe I should have, but you said no judgment, so.
Oh, please. And that everybody knows, as everybody's coming in watching, hey, Drizzle Kitchen, hey, maybe we could use your help too, girl, on Mealstorming with her, but absolutely no judgment. I do feel like there is such judginess that we have even on ourselves of what a pantry is supposed to look like. So no judgment. Yeah. And I love that you didn't go out and hoard stuff. Thank you. Like that's how I ended up have a can of chickpeas finally, is because people are not all hoarding everything anymore.
I'm like, we do not need to do this. I feel like honestly, like the main stuff that I don't know, like I bought this miso for a recipe.
Yep.
Have no idea what else to use it for. Like I said, the tahini is it's the first time I bought it, which I told my sister and she's like, oh my gosh, I use that all the time. It's like a staple for me, but I don't know what to use. So like,
I love that.
Two things.
So miso and tahini, I think are great. Drizzle Kitchen loves miso.
I saw your cabbage post, so I went out and got cabbage.
Cabbage is the absolute best. Because, you know, those fresh veggies do go bad quickly, except for like cabbage is the hardiest one of the bunch. And if I could just give one more plug to freaking cabbage, it is a cruciferous vegetable in the family of kale, broccoli, and cauliflower. It's a magnificent superfood. Anyway, if anybody needs a spokesperson for cabbage, call me.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna work with 2 ingredients for you. We're gonna do miso and tahini. The one thing I will tell you about tahini is that once I started thinking about it, almost like peanut butter, like tahini and an apple makes an awesome snack.
Oh. Okay.
It's just the best. And so it's sort of like all it is sesame seed butter. So it's like, okay, cool. What else would I do? So then I love like sweet potatoes with tahini drizzled on it. So apples and tahini, sweet potato and tahini, or sweet potato fries dipped in tahini.
Oh, okay.
Super good. Amazing. And then I love it as just like tahini and lemon vinaigrette. Oh.
Okay.
Wait, somebody's Drizzle Kitchen miso whisked into rice vinegar and honey and sesame oil is a great marinade. I use that
I
as
have
a
all of
vinaigrette
that.
too. So,
Okay.
okay. So think about that. A miso, I mean, miso is just like that, a good salty, earthy flavor. You know what I mean? So I
Okay.
like that. Rice vinegar is the sour, honey is the sweet, and then sesame oil makes everything taste amazing. So that
And
is,
is that
I
like
like that.
how you would build like the sour, the sweet? Is that what I should be thinking about when I'm
I do sort of, because here's what I'll do is I'll be like, oh, this is bad. I like make something and it's like, this is bad. And then I'm like, wait a second, maybe there's a missing piece. And so I'm like, oh, there's nothing sour in here. So I'll be like, okay, I'll squeeze a lime in there.
okay.
Or like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is bad. And I'm like, oh, there's nothing sweet. So I might, I might not have honey, or I might not use honey. I might use like leftover apricot jam that I have or whatever.
Right.
So I will oftentimes think about that. Sometimes not first, sometimes second, when I'm trying to repair something that doesn't taste right. But I do love that as a marinade, or like I said, even as a vinaigrette on salads and stuff. I think it's very good. But okay, what else do we have? Anybody else say anything? I think I agree with that. Miso, using it like that, and tahini, trying to think of it as like a nut butter. And like tahini, like, you know how peanut pasta, like Thai style pasta has like peanut sauce.
Right.
Well, tahini could go as like a sauce on pasta because it's similar like that. It's got like it's like a nut butter thing. But anyway, if you have an apple, your assignment is to eat tahini and apple today.
I have that. Okay, I can do that.
I mean, that would be a great assignment.
Drizzle. Okay.
And it makes me happy because my favorite snacks are a pair of produce, anything produce, so the fruit or vegetable, with protein, which would be tahini because it's made out of sesame seeds. So I love that. So, okay, if we were going to use that as the base, like the miso marinade with the sesame oil, a little bit of honey, a little bit of either lime juice or vinegar. Oh yeah, I love that. I do love Buddha bowls too, girl. Any sort of lunch bowl, basically. So for me, like I said, I love tahini on sweet potatoes. Yeah. So like if I do sweet potatoes as a base of, my carby thing, then I put something protein in there. So it'll be either like chickpeas or like leftover chicken, and then whatever vegetable. And I have a squeezable tahini, but when you have that container of tahini, I stir it up with a spoon, and then I just like drizzle it all over like that. So she's saying the same thing. Buddha bowls mixed with lemon juice, granola. She's a chef though, so she's doing all that other stuff. I literally just do tahini on there and stir it up. Lemon is good too. Garlic is good too. But even tahini on its own, delish. So tahini on apple, tahini on Buddha bowls, and now let's do a real meal though with that miso vinaigrette or marinade. So we could do like just a bowl. Do you eat a lot of bowls?
I don't. I should eat more. But again, it's the whole like throwing things together thing. I don't know how to do it. You can teach me.
Okay, two things I'm going to say about this. Okay, one is a lot of menu studying. Like if you have a place that like you say you like sweet greens, or like there's a place that you have purchased bowls from, that I'll like look at the menu and sort of see sort of some of the stuff that they put together. But also you start eating things and like are like, oh, I really, really like this together. And then so even if other people don't like it together, you like it together. Yeah. So, okay, so what does that flavor go? Like miso with sesame oil, it skews very like Asian-y, right?
Right. Can I tell you, I bought it to make miso butter, which is not healthy, but it was a Chrissy Teigen recipe, so I
want to do anything she does. If I could be as cute, whatever I eat, if I could be like that, fine, I'll eat it.
It was so good. It like went on steak, which again, I know not healthy, but yeah, so that was great. But it's like, how often am I going to make miso butter? Like,
yep. Well, I love that. And like, I'm a huge believer in like, this is what I say. I say all foods fit, but some fit better than others. So it's like, for me, it's like I'm absolutely, we had steak. Do you know what I had yesterday? I put it on my Instagram story. Our dinner was a huge salad. Okay.
Yeah.
With onion rings and steak on it.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
It was so good. So like that would be, I consider that a superfood, healthy, crazy dinner. But it just, other people would be like, oh my God, onion rings. Oh. But it's like, well, that made me eat a ton of vegetables.
Right. It's a vehicle. Yes.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
And I love what you said about Chris dressing up his salads. That inspired me. I went and like tried to do some fun seasoning on my salad yesterday, and that I did throw some stuff together. But it's true. It's like you can use different, like the taco seasoning thing. That's crazy. That's such a good idea.
In a salad, I was like, that is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel like if we could use that as a vinaigrette on just like a bowl of like, do you have cauliflower rice or brown rice?
I have jasmine rice.
Oh yeah, jasmine rice.
Okay.
Great. So you make it from scratch?
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is impressive. You know, my personal stance on rice has been I only buy it frozen, pre-cooked.
Oh.
And somebody was on the show last week. I think it was at get_rope said, you gotta have an Instapot. It makes rice in 5 minutes. But I always buy it frozen, already made, because that's a healthy, lazy shortcut. Mama love. Mama love.
Smart. I was doing the microwave ones, which
yes, good. I think that's
it
great.
kind of scares me though, like the microwaving and the I don't know.
And just so you know, I jog outside in all of the pollution. We're, you know, whatever.
Right.
Whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like if you're eating rice that is like with a bunch of vegetables, it's like, yeah, we're winning. We're still winning. Because I love that idea. It's like I go and I think, okay, what's my theme? So I'm trying to use miso. That dressing is basically Asian leaning. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe the grainy thing would be a rice. And then I'm like, well, what would be the protein thing? And then I think, what would be like Asian-y? It's like, do I have edamame at home?
I don't have that. I do have pork. I have ground pork.
Yeah, how delicious. That's, oh my God, that sounds delicious. So now I got a little rice, I've got a little pork. And now it's like, okay, there's the third piece that's missing is the vegetable, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I've got the grainy thing, I've got the meaty protein thing. Now, what are the vegetables? So what vegetables do you have around that you feel like could lean into an Asian theme?
So I do have, let's see here. We'll go on a little. I have sweet potatoes that we could potentially use. And then, let's see. I have greens. So
you have cabbage. I
arugula.
forgot you had, look at, you have spinach
Yeah,
and cabbage.
Green onion could be good.
Green onion on top. Yes.
And then mushrooms.
Oh my God, girl, this is a meal for sure. I love that.
You just like throw it all.
So here's
You
what I
just
would
throw
do,
it all
because
in?
that I love so the sauce is fantastic, right? I feel like that's going to be good. So I would cook the vegetables in a pan. I would do mushroom. I love cabbage, so I put cabbage. I do mushroom, cabbage, probably spinach, you know, all of those together.
Yeah.
I cook them in a pan with just maybe a little bit of oil and garlic. Ginger, do you have?
Yes, I have fresh ginger.
Yeah, fine. So ginger, garlic. So now I have the very flavorful veggies. Okay, great. And so I have those. Then I have the rice. Then I have the pork. And then I drizzle a very heavy ham. This is what I would do. This is where I love life.
Yeah.
I don't put a little bit of sauce on it. I would make that sauce that we talked about with the miso, and I would just like pour it on, like deliciousness. And then it would be topped with green onion. And what about, do you have any sesame seeds?
I do. Yeah.
And sesame seeds. And then we're done. It's
Perfect.
beautiful. It's got fresh greenery on top. It's got the sesame seeds to make it feel, and then obviously you have to eat it with chopsticks.
Let's see. That might be the
JM Place, I love your energy. Thanks for attending. Oh yeah,
Hello.
see? There you go. This, my dear, is a meal fit for a queen, which is what you are. I mean, hey, are you on TikTok?
No.
Oh yeah, I feel like a move like
you?
this. I just got on TikTok and I only have 2 dances to speak of, and I think they're both amazing, but you know, whatever.
Maybe I'll
But
get
this,
on.
I feel like that move could be some kind of TikTok
Maybe
move.
we make a TikTok. This becomes
Oh my gosh, I love it. So tell me, do you feel like this is an appropriate use, focusing on, we did a little bit of tahini talk, so you know how to deal with that, and an apple is your assignment. But how do you feel about the miso dressing and the sort of bowl we came up with? Do you feel like that would be craveable and easy?
Yes, I love it. And I feel like it's a good way to kind of, one, use the random stuff that I bought just because I thought it's healthy, it's good to have around, but do not have a specific recipe for it. And it's a good way to be healthy too, because I think, you know, it's easy to sit around and like eat chips, or that's my weak point. You know, eat chips or eat, like, we're stress baking, made brownies last night. Like, it's so easy to sit and eat that stuff and watch TV at night and not get up. Whereas if you, I don't know, I feel like if you can have a healthy dinner, then you're maybe a little bit more likely to go on a walk or to like, you feel like you've started out on the right track.
You're right. I mean, things cluster. Habits are contagious, right? So that's what we say. Like, so it's like once you're doing unhealthy stuff, all of a sudden it's like it starts getting contagious everywhere. And it's like once you do like a little thing, like I'm doing a 10 to 15 minute jump rope routine at 5 p.m.
I saw that. I love that. That's
it's so much fun. It's very, well, if you watch me, somebody should watch how I do it. It's like I'm not really jumping half the time I'm tangled in the rope. I mean, half the time I'm literally tangled
but
in the rope.
it's better than you're trying, you're out there.
Right. And you're right, though. It makes me, once I'm done with it, though, it's contagious. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm more likely to be like, okay, I'll have seconds of vegetables or whatever. Exactly. And maybe I won't have seconds of wine, or maybe I will. You know, what can I say? Okay. What can I say? But would you feel confident, like, you know, I know that you say you don't usually throw things together, but would you feel confident based on our conversation that you could make something and that you would actually, it would feel healthy, but not so healthy? It would still feel craveable if you made that meal?
Yes, I would. I mean, there's still a part of me that is like, can you write that down for me and send me? Yes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it. And we'll throw it together and just like taste as we go, right?
Okay. Yes, I think so. But you want to talk through it just to double check, like think about it.
Yeah.
You want to talk through it?
Yeah, let's maybe.
Okay. Should I make you first? Can we talk about the miso? Let's envision together. What are you going to do with that miso? This is from Drizzle Kitchen's idea, which is our jumping off point.
Okay. So you take the miso and rice vinegar and tahini. No.
And I'm gonna say I like the miso. I like the rice vinegar.
Lemon
I like
juice.
a sesame oil. I like a sesame oil.
Sesame.
And
oil.
I like a honey.
Oh, okay.
I like those things because that's like sweet. You got the sweet honey. You've got the sour vinegar. You've got like the earthy, salty miso.
Yes.
And then you have like sesame oil, which makes everything delicious.
Okay. So we'll just whisk that and then throw everything in the bowl. In the skillet and saute it together. Yes. So I probably would cook the vegetables. This is probably how I would do it. Anyway, this is not the right way. This is how I would do it though. Is I would do the vegetables, which I would pick because it's like leans Asian-y. This some spinach, some cabbage, some mushroom. And I would cook that with like garlic and ginger so they're flavorful. Yeah. So I would do that. And so now I have the vegetable lump done. I would make the rice and I would make extra lots of rice so that I could freeze some of it so I don't have to make it the next time. Yes. You know? Okay. And then I would just saute the pork. I know people would want that flavored too. So you could do the same flavoring with the vegetables. Aminos or something? Throw that in?
I love coconut aminos. Okay. I feel like that would even be good. Oh, miso is already salty. Okay. So you don't need it in the marinade, but you could do it when you're cooking. Absolutely fine. Okay. The pork separate. But I still probably would do ginger, garlic, oil for the vegetables, ginger, garlic, oil for the pork. I would probably do that. And I'd keep the rice plain, probably, just because I like that it would soak up all the juices of everything. So I would do those things, and I'd have it. And again, I'd make extra rice so I could freeze some of it so I don't have to make it the next time. Okay. And then I say to myself, okay, I'm going to put this all in a bowl, and I'm going to douse it with the miso dressing that I whisked up. So it's so delicious. But then I'm like, everything is cooked and hot. I want something fresh on top. Green onion. Perfect. And then it's like, it still could use a little cute factor. Sesame seeds.
A little cute factor.
It's got a little sesame seeds. And then I say, girl, you know you're going to eat this with chopsticks. So then I would do that.
Perfect. It's perfect.
I mean, what do you think?
I love it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of this. And then leftover rice you can freeze. And then the leftover pork even, you could, if you wanted, just for the craveability factor, you could, instead of sauteing the pork like that, you could make it in little meatballs. I know that Drizzle Kitchen is doing meatballs today on her Instagram Live. But basically, ground beef, ground pork, ground chicken. Delicious, especially when shaped in a meatball shape.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? So it could be like a meatball bowl. Perfect. Kind of Asian bowl. So that's, I mean, it's good, but it's probably, that takes it to like the next level.
I think it's perfect. Can I say, I want to see what people are making from these, because I feel like you guys go over it and then I want them to like post.
I've been posting in my stories. So like
Okay.
yesterday's they had a picture. It was gorgeous. It was great.
Okay.
And then I've been posting. Even today, my post today,
I
pasta
saw your, yes.
was from Pantry Party. And then I'm trying to think, there was a couple others that posted. Not everybody has posted. One person sent me a DM and said, please do not post this. It was delicious, but it's so ugly. And I was like, let me post it.
It doesn't
Anyway,
matter, yes.
Right, it doesn't matter how cute it is, whatever. But I do feel like, you know, if you do it, right, is like send it. And and even if it is a version of it that's not exactly what we talked about, it's like, who cares? It's like, at least it's something. And I get inspired that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm inspired to make, okay, I have miso around. I might not make, I might not have anything else you have, and I might not make that, but I will just put a raw slaw dressing as use it as a slaw dressing tonight or whatever. So anyway, I think this was so fun. Thank you. You had two jumping off points that were very good. And I'm also going to post on YouTube our episode. So if you want to rewatch it and see what you signed up for, you're like, what did I sign up for?
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a crutch right there. Hey, Molly C. Shanks, I appreciate you coming on the Pantry Party show.
Thank you for having, I love that you're doing this. It's so fun. And can I say, I love that Caitlin Mare was on, because I have been doing her workouts in the mornings, and that is like keeping me sane. So
yes, she is a fitness, princess queen for sure.
She's amazing, and she's so funny.
Yes, she is. She's funny because she's direct.
I will say, I don't know her. I've never met her. She's gonna watch this and be like, "What?" But no, like on Instagram at least, when she posts, I feel like she's very funny and
very fun because she tells it how it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it is like a good. We all could use a little bump of reality. You know what I mean? Anyway, have fun cooking your Pantry Party inspiration. Thanks for being on the show. I love you so much. I can't wait until everything is lifted and we can meet at Soho Pool again.
I know. Let's do it. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Love you. Bye.
All right.
Bye. Bye. And thanks everybody for joining in the Pantry Party show. I'll be back tomorrow at noon Central Time with another guest, with another pantry quandary, coming up with some meal that they're going to make from whatever they have on hand. Okay, until next time, I'm sending you high immunity vibes, big love, and kisses.